Hello everyone and welcome to Fresh Reviews. I'm Tower, this is my lovely wife Moon, the awesome community member Beatree, and community moderator Ninth Pawn. Today we just finished watching Baelin's Route from Viva La Dirt League over on YouTube, and I really enjoyed it. But before we start off with that, let's get right into our normal of giving everyone a spoilers warning. So if you don't know, we are going to spoil the movie here. So if you haven't watched Baelin's Route yet, the link for Baelin's Route will be in the description. It's on YouTube. It's free. I'm recommending it at this point to go watch it, like us before you go watch it, come back, then watch the review. Don't ruin it for yourself because it's funny. It's a funny movie. So just like us, go watch it, come back. I'll give you 3 seconds. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right. So, for those of you who don't know, with Fresh Reviews, we generally sum up the movie all together, and then at the end of it, we give our rating for that and why. So I'm going to start us off with the beginning of the movie. We see Baelin. He is the fisherman character from the epic NPC man story, and he's doing his normal Baelin thing of just walking around Honeywood, and they're kind of throwing a lot of characters in and jokes from a lot of the different skits, which I really enjoyed. I thought that was really funny. There's a lot of like little moments that like are slightly different from a lot of the other series, like videos that you've seen in the series, but like close enough that like it was consistent with it. And basically, he's going through Honeywood. He's walking out of Honeywood. He's following his path, like a normal NPC route would. There's a lot of in-jokes. And as he's going along, he randomly bumps into a player in the woods who then uses a recruit function on him, I guess. And he is compelled to fight for the player. And because he's an NPC, and many MMO players would get this joke, he's kind of impervious because NPCs that aren't designed to die tend to be kind of like I'm just gonna ask you guys this here. Have you guys ever had an experience in a game where there's an NPC you're not supposed to attack or kill and you attack them? Like Moon B Ninth?
Yeah, I've run into that before.
And they kill you faster than you can kill them.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. So like, I thought that was a good joke, like right off the bat, that I kind of feel like they pushed throughout the movies, that Baelin the fisherman is this absolute badass fighter because he's an unkillable NPC. Ninth, your mic's messing up a little bit. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. And then after that, the player tries to get him to follow him off of the path, and this is the point where I'm going to pass it over to Moon. So Moon, go ahead.
Yeah, so I thought that was a little weird because normally, when you try to get an NPC to move out of your way, they don't move out of your way.
Yeah.
Or you want them to move a certain way and they don't. Or, those typical, you have to follow me class, so we're going to go as slow as possible while you can speed on by, even though you know where we're going.
All right.
So it seems like it kind of takes that kind of turn. Very interesting. But I get the player's annoyance, but at the same time, it's an NPC. They're going to do what they want to do or are programmed to do.
Okay. Well, I meant you want to continue talking about the story. Like, what happens next?
And so the player finally gets Baelin to go off the path and join him on his quest. He comes to this desolate town with all these things that are dead, with this other quest giver stuck in a cage asking for help, and this player is ignoring her while he gathers the loot and whatnot. And he's like, fine, I'll help you. And I will pass it off to B.
well, first you got to get the loot, before you
Yes.
out to NPC, because you never know. All of a sudden you might go somewhere. So, he gets the keys, helps the maiden in distress who has to go get her aunt, uncle, in, far off land. And he's like, yeah, sure, this is an easy quest. Just gotta take him. Oh, there's a fast travel point, So, they're walking along and, and the, fisherman, is walking up and, she and all he's saying is, hi, nice day for fishing, but that's all he says, but it's really well done where you kind of go, oh, okay, he has his own meaning behind it, he knows, you know, he's just not saying it. It's
it's in the tone.
It kind of felt like Pokemon, where like Pikachu says Pikachu, but it's like there's like that, like the voice animates it really well. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, he's very very good at inflecting that. Oh, like I'm just not there's an intelligence behind me. Even though I can't say it. So he gets the adventurer. Drags him along to the fast travel point, but it's not working. It's like one of them quests where no, you can't fast travel with them. What are you doing? You're gonna pop out of existence, and the other people. So he's like begrudgingly goes, okay, now I gotta figure out how exactly to get these, all the way over there now, and then he, of course, along the way there, the two NPCs are talking to her, like she's got a lot more vocabulary, signifying she's more important to the story, and he's just going, oh, it's a nice day for to go fishing.
For fishing.
Good morning. And so of course I think a lot of people would get this. That gets a little annoying, considering the fact that you really don't want to have a escort quest to begin with, Yeah. But particularly when there's so much trouble. So, the human is basically fed up with the fisher guy, and he's about ready to like do him in, but then all of a sudden he, has to, discovers that the road's blocked by more NPCs that, are like town guard type level, where it definitely appears like you cannot take them on and they will block your path. So basically he has, the adventurer goes, okay, now this is getting kind of, we'll go around the blockade, we'll go down this other path, but of course then all of a sudden, he's like, okay, now it's time for us to go off the path, and she goes, no. And and so he's like getting really, the adventurer is really getting messed, like really agitated at this quest right now. This is not what he signed up for. He has other priorities. This isn't as easy of a quest as he thought. So he just goes, okay, it's time to delete this quest from my log, and so he's basically about ready to slay the NPC girl, but then he decides that then the fisherman goes, no, I'm going to defend her, keep her from getting sent back to the cage per se. So
I loved that part because it's like they basically just invented sentience in their game at that moment. Like they were just like, and now the NPCs are sentient. Like, here we go.
Very true. Yeah, it was a very like, okay, I'm actually going to do something other than walk my route and go fishing and interfere with, what's going on.
Yeah.
So, at this point, like right as the adventurer's about ready to take her out, the fisherman steps in with his epic fishing pole of the unbreakable fishing pole. Let's go with that. And
unbreakable fishing pole is great.
So he basically like defeats him in sword to fishing pole combat, and and so the adventurer goes, okay, fine, I'll leave her, and then decides to turn the bow on, walk away and turn the bow on him, but then it's like, no, he just deflects every single arrow, destroys them completely. So now the adventurer's like, okay, I got this holy hand grenade, let's say, that I'm gonna try and defeat this NPC with, but he really like goes throws it at him. But of course, he's an invincible NPC fisherman designed to basically, if something attacks him, just not to, nothing's gonna attack him anyway, so he might as well make him invincible. So then he comes out and smacks the adventurer across the face. And, takes him out. I think I'll turn it over to Ninth at this point.
All right, Ninth.
All right, what happens at this point is they both feel the need to get out of there because he's going to resurrect there, and they don't like him. So they go their own way towards Delbra or wherever it is they're taking the woman to. And along the way, they are, talking, and she's trying to find out who he is, and he's saying, great day for fishing, and, they continue along the quest, and he gets her to the area, after some troubles, he gets her to the area that he was supposed to deliver her to, and there's a person there that looks like, a guardian, something like that, and the girl goes off with him, and he supposedly goes on his own path. The path that takes him around, to say, hey, it's a great day to go fishing. And after that, she follows the guardian person, and the guardian person actually turns into like super evil orc guy. And it turns out that the fisherman did not follow the path. He actually caught up with them, and he fights. First he snags the evil orc guy with his fishing pole, which is great. He hooks him, and then he fights him and defeats him, and he takes the after he defeats him, he takes the the girl back to her parents, and that's how the show ends. Is that he takes them back to the parents. They have a conversation, and he says his lines because he's very true in this. He only sticks to the dialogue lines that he has, and then he wanders off and continues on his path, returning to town, and that is the end.
Yeah. All right. So with that out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and go through everyone's review 1 to 10. 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. Why, and what was your favorite scene from the movie? Starting with Moon.
I'm going to give this a 4. Not something I would typically watch. I did get a lot of the game references in it. They were very corny, very funny. I did appreciate the fact that they stuck to the character keeping his dialogue as an NPC, and that, he was able to change his tone so you could kind of understand what he was really saying behind the dialogue that he was given, especially more towards the end where you could figure it out a little more clearly. That ended up being a shorter film type thing because it is, one of those small ones that you can find on YouTube.
Okay. Do you have a favorite scene?
Not in particular. Like I said, I just really appreciated that they stuck to that dialogue that he has and gave the dialogue meaning that was more understandable at the end as to what type of meaning he had.
All right. B.
Found it very enjoyable coming from a gamer perspective. I think, I give it, 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I got most of the references. I mean, it wasn't, for what it was really good. So, I can't complain about it too much. I mean, very, very true to what the, show is about with, gaming memes and stuff that happens in video games. So, my favorite scene was, I have to say when he confronted the actual player character for, betraying the quest per se, because, that's,
shameful.
Yeah. Yes, the player character didn't, to him it's just a game, it's just his avatar, but to the fisherman it was actual, like, okay, this person is about ready to murder somebody else,
Yeah.
So, that was my favorite.
Makes me think about any time I'm playing in the Dark Brotherhood and ESO. Alright, ninth.
All right, I'm gonna give this an 8.5. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
It had all the tropes of the MMOs and definitely a lot of the type of WoW stuff. Rushing into combat with your fishing pole and all of that. As for favorite scene, I didn't have a favorite scene so much as I had a favorite character, and all the characters were good. But my favorite, was the frustrated adventurer. Because I've so been in there with games, like you're doing a new character, you've done these quests 30 times before, and you're like, skip, yes, I accept, skip. That frustrated adventurer is like everybody at some point in MMOs, and I definitely related to that, and that's why I'm giving it an 8.5.
Nice. I'm gonna give this an 8.5 as well. I loved this movie. Initially, when I saw the amount of time it was, I was hoping this movie was going to be longer, but then I thought about it more. It's like, well, with the dialogue that they had to stick with Baelin, I don't think they could have made this longer and it not feel drawn out. So I'm happy they went with the time amount they did in that sense. I'm happy they stuck to Baelin as a character. And I loved all the little tiny MMO references, like before he goes to save the girl from the cage, he loots all the he's looting all the stuff, and like the NPC keeps talking, please save me, and he's just like, will you shut up, I am looting, I will be there momentarily. Like as Ninth was saying, like those frustrated moments, as B was saying, like a lot of the MMO references, like this was very corny, and I feel like it was meant to be corny. But it was a good quality corny. Like all the shots were beautiful. The acting was on point. Like even the joke acting, like the jokes were on point. You could tell they put a lot of effort into the camera work on this one, the lighting work, and you also just got to take a moment to appreciate that they filmed this in Middle Earth, New Zealand. Like, some of the shots on Baelin's route were just beautiful. The mountains, the paths, like, it was absolutely gorgeous. Like, this could be both an amazing MMO parody movie and a National Geographic advertisement for New Zealand and what. So, yeah, I'm gonna go, 8.5. Alright, so, and then for me, my favorite scene probably be when Baelin hooks the orc boss on the tooth with his fishing pole.
Yep.
That was just hilarious. I was dying. I was like, he comes out of the window, like, hooks him by the tooth and pulls. I'm like, can I do that? Please? Like, that'd be awesome. All right. So with that being said, do we have some quick maths on the score?
Yes, we ended up with 28 points, which divided in 4 is a solid, an even 7.
An even 7. 7 out of 10 ain't bad. All right. So thank you, Moon B and Ninth, for joining me, for watching this this movie with me. Thank you to Viva La Dirt League for making this movie. Really appreciate you guys. Guys, if you haven't checked them out, their link will be in the description as well as the video. Check them out. They make awesome content, awesome skits. If you love video games or just like skit comedy in general, they are fantastic. Check them out.
I would almost recommend watching a few of the epic NPC mans before you watch this movie. Too.
Yeah,
It'll help you enjoy it.
Yeah, because there's references in there. So yeah, I would agree with that for sure. But to those of you who are watching, if you haven't already, please drop a like, drop a comment on what you think of Epic NPC Man or the movie if you've watched it already, or what you thought of our take on it. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all next time here at Fresh Reviews. Bye!
Bye.
Special thanks to our patrons, Blue Phoenix, Louie, Drew, Hollowed Zen, Antiox, Kazlor, Ninth Pawn, AJ, Evil Gummy Bear, A Knight Errant Gravy Train, and Suboptimal Preservation Society. Thanks, guys!